Um, so many different people that we have lost due to that type of violence. And why do they get to just run amok? What is it? I remember back in the day, they used to call us no humans involved because we were melanated. So they didn't consider us humans. And at that time, they were able to just shoot us down like dogs in the street.
Yeah.
Whether this story is correct or not, the topic does need to be
It
had
needs to be discussed. Now,
because
before we go any further, to y'all that's coming in here, I don't want to mute y'all. I don't want to block y'all. We are aware and have already discussed whether this article is real or fake. That's not the topic here. Whether the article is real or fake is not the topic, okay? That's not the topic. This is a conversation that needs to be had. Trigger warning. If you do not think that you are mature enough or do not think that you are mentally stable enough to hold this conversation, please exit now. Okay? Renee,
Can
Renee,
I
give me a
interject
moment and I'll
one
read it.
second, baby mama? I want to respond to Observer 79. Observer 79 says, so just become the thing you hate, shaking my head. First of all, if you was listening to the conversation from the beginning, Observer, obviously you wasn't observing shit that I just said. What I said was we were tired. That's what I said. We don't hate nobody. We can't hate anyone. We didn't do anything wrong. The only thing we've done was be born brown. That's it. That's the only ammunition that other side needs to dismantle us. What I'm saying is an eye for an eye. It's justice is what it is. If they stop fucking with us and our children, we will leave them alone. We don't bother anybody. We comply, quote unquote. We comply. We don't want no trouble. We mind our damn business. That pays us. See what I'm saying? So, to Observer, we don't hate anything. We're not becoming anything that we hate. We don't hate anything and we don't hate anyone. Just leave us the hell alone, period. You come for us, you gonna fuck around and find out. All right, and I'm done. Go ahead.
Okay. You guys, we don't want to mute you. We don't want to block you. We don't want to do none of that. Whether the article is real or not is not the topic here. Okay, that's is not what we're here to talk about. There's a conversation that needs to be had, though, right? In regards to this, because all of us are tired of it. Black and whites alike. Not even gonna lie, tired of it. But for those of you that are coming in that are asking for a recap, and Rachel, I'm gonna get right back to you, baby, okay? For those of you that are coming in that are asking for a recap, allegedly, this is 45-year-old Douglas Barnes. In that far left corner over there, that is supposedly Michael McAfee. And in that photo, he is standing with a picture of his 17-year-old daughter, who is supposedly named Samantha McAfee, okay? Now, from what the article is saying that I've read, and I've read too, and that's all that I can find. I can't find it on Fox 2. I can't find it on WDI4, WDIV4. I can't find it anywhere else. So we are confirming that this story just might not be true, but that's not the issue here. Okay. Allegedly, this man unalived this man's daughter because this man unalived this man's son. Allegedly, okay? That's all that we talking about. Whether the story is true or false or fake or real, or that's not what I'm discussing. Okay? I don't know if this story is like 100% fact, 100% false. I cannot give you that. However, when I read it, I felt like there was a conversation that exactly, and I'm from Detroit, you feel me? So, and I'm only 45 minutes out. I couldn't find it either. However, I definitely did my research to find. I'm talking about I got on so many different search engines that don't make no sense, right? However, that's not the issue here. There is still a conversation that needs to be held. Amen. Now, if you coming in with the that's not real, fake news, this, that, and the third, cool, right? This story still, I mean, things like this needs to be talked about, because don't think for a moment that it has not crossed people's minds. Okay? Go ahead, Rachel. I'm sorry.
But it's true because it's the principle of it. And it's been going on for so long. At what point do we fight back? And how do we fight back? Because we can't go ammo for ammo. We're not going to win that way.
Ooh, can't go ammo for ammo.
We cannot go ammo for ammo with them. We're not going to win that one.
Can I chime in real quick right here, please?
Go ahead, Mom.
Thank
Go
you
ahead.
guys for having me. This is my first time over here. I appreciate that. So there is a book called Song of Solomon, written by
Yes,
Toni
ma'am.
Morrison
I've
in
read the book.
1976 or 77. And let me tell you what it says. And this is not verbatim, but trust me, you're going to feel me when I say it. For every one of our black caskets that roll, 7 of theirs should roll. That's what it says.
Mhm.
That's what it says. So for the people that have a problem with this, and just so you know, you were covered from the beginning of this conversation, because I dropped in the comments, even if it's not true, this is a conversation that needs to be had. So
Right.
from the beginning, you were covered with this story of it. It doesn't matter if it's true or not true. The thing about it is they don't see our kids as kids. First and foremost, let's cover that. They do not view our children as children. From the time our children turn about 10 years old, depending on the size of them, they no longer see them as kids. They see them as animals.
Right.
They see them as inmates, criminals.
As
That's
not-
how they see them. That's how they identify them. And that's why they feel it's okay for them to do the things that they do to our children. And so and that's why the saying is, it should resonate. Thank God, or white people should thank God that black people only want equality and not equity. That is not just on the realm of finances. That
Right.
is period, Pooh, period, point blank. That is what that is. Equity and not, equality and not equity. Let that resonate what that means, because that definitely means if we took the mindset of Song of Solomon, they would really stop doing it. Again, you want people to say, oh, I don't condone violence. I don't condone violence. A person protecting their home, their family, and their possessions is stronger than 10 people put together. So when you say you don't condone violence, that's you in your right mind. When something like this happens to you, do you think you'll be in your right mind?
Absolutely not.
Do you think you'll make the decisions you would normally make?
Nope.
I
Absolutely
think
not.
it needs
So
to be
us with
strategic.
sound
I
minds
think
being
it
able to
needs to
say
be
that. I'm
strategic
sorry.
that we put together. I think it should be strategic that we come together to try to kind of do that, because
Rachel,
we
let
can't
me
just
tell
go
you
out
something.
here ammo for ammo.
Rachel, let me tell you something. They've traded in their white hoods and their sheets, and they got blue uniforms now, and they got
They
a black
never
robe.
Oh,
traded
no,
it
wait.
in.
You're
That's the
missing some
problem.
things. 'Cause
They
I got
never
bands
traded
that
in
say
it. They
you
never
said.
traded in their uniforms. They have
I
multiple
got
uniforms
banned.
like people have multiple jobs.
I
That's
got
all. That's
banned
just
for what
another
you just
extension of
said.
their
I
jobs.
added to it. I said they traded in their white sheets for white coats, that is your doctors, black robes, that is your judges, and blue
Yep.
uniforms, that is your police. Trust
Yep.
and believe me, we know the people that took part in January 6th, right? Because we got to see them. Do you know that over 70-something million people voted for that man? Those are the ones that we didn't get to see. Sweetie, those are your doctors, your lawyers, your teachers, your judges. Those are those people. It's more scary for them, because we don't know them, than the people that we got to see in plain view show us how they feel about us.
Not only that, Mo, they are trained when they go through that academy. They are trained to do this to our children. I don't know how many of y'all have law enforcement in your families or have been around and have been able to do law enforcement training. But I speak because I know, because I was there. They train you to do this to your own kind. They train them to do this. This is not something that, they're just doing because. They are trained to do this because they know that they're going to get away with it.
If this is true, this is funny because he got his lick back. It sounds like a movie to me, but he definitely got his lick back if it's true.
All that.
It's the
May I
fact,
speak
whether
as
it's
I
a
not.
mean, we
I'm
can
sorry.
even pull up Michael Dozer when he went AWOL and they had that whole gun shootout in the woods. You know what I'm saying? Chasing one black man that decided to go AWOL. This is nothing new. The conversation is not new. What would be new is actually having some type of cognitive progress behind the conversation, that we actually have some type of action behind this conversation, because we could all talk till we blue in the face, and we could all say what we would do, and we could all say what they do and what they train to do. But until you get down there and you 10 toes down and you got that Glock up in your hand and you pull that trigger on that white nigga, we gonna be sitting here on TikTok having the same conversation. Love y'all. Have a good one.
Okay,
I
baby.
just want to ask a
Exactly.
question. How long was it before we found out about Ahmaud Arbery? How long was it? 2 years, baby mama, before they even found out?
No,
You see what I'm saying?
it
You
was
see
a
how
matter. No,
long they
I don't
covered
think it
that
was.
shit up?
I don't think it was a full 2 years, but I do. It was a while.
Right. So you see how long they got away with that. You see what I'm this is what pisses us off, because you hear about stories like this and it's like, wait a minute, where
Hold
was
on, baby
this
mama.
shit?
I could do you one better.
Do you know how many mass graves there are
Hold on,
are all
hold
in
on,
the
baby.
South?
Hold on, baby. I could do you one better. There were just 215 plus. That's that we counted bodies found behind a police station.
I know you fucking lying.
This was just not even. It ain't even been a
Look up
year.
the prison story, Kay. I'm
Yeah,
sorry to cut you
Mississippi.
off. Look up the
yeah.
prison story.
There were that. This it ain't even been a year.
Look up the prison story. The woman whose son who went missing.
Listen, that's what I'm talking about. Okay,
Look
so
up
it's
the
behind the
whole
prison.
story, girl. It's more than 200 and some people.
Yeah,
They are burying these people behind the prisons.
yeah.
Jesus, take over.
I can tell you verbatim, it's still happening
You
today.
got that call, Auntie. D Block, D Block. Let me mute you. Hold on. Go ahead, Auntie.
It is still happening today. A lot of these prisoners are going missing, and their families don't have the money to fight the system that unalived them. Um, I will say, sadly, I was a part of that system. I've seen a lot. I don't always speak on it, but this happens far too often to our children, and the fact that they get away with it is crazy. But the fact of the matter is, and I still stand on what I said earlier, I know that I would not be in my hell. I'm not in my right mind on a good day. But if you touch one of mine, I'm taking your pet rock, your goldfish, your granny, and everybody else, and I'm coming. And I'm gonna sit there and do my time contently braiding other people's hair for commissary money so I can have my Pepsis. I said what I said.
Thank you for saying
Do
what
a,
you
hold on.
said.
Do a lot of y'all know, and I'm just talking about men in general, do a lot of y'all know when you hit the third grade, they are already putting, they already making a room for you in prison? When you hit the third grade, they're looking at your test scores. They're looking at your grades. They're looking at your attendance, because if they see that you don't be in school a lot, they see that you're failing. They are making a jail cell with your name on it in the third
Oh,
grade. My son learned this in the sixth grade. He goes to an all boys school, and he have this class
Okay,
called
Mama.
King 101. And they teach them things that they would not learn on an everyday basis. They teach them things that DC public schools don't want these young boys to know. I have learned a lot from my son homework than I did when I went to school. When it came to us, I never knew that in the third grade they were looking at us like, oh yeah, this person gonna go to school a lot. This person gonna be a drug dealer. Oh yeah, I see it now. I'm gonna have a cell with his name on it. In the third grade, they don't give you time to get to the sixth grade. They don't give you time to get to junior high school. In the third grade, we all have a cell block with our name on it.
It's called the school to prison pipeline. It's the school to prison pipeline. There's massive studies, peer review studies done on it. And if you count your schools, you'll see how it works. You have like 3 elementary schools feeding into 2 junior high schools, 2 junior high schools feeding into 1 high school, because they've already planned X amount of people will be offenders, will be in prison. That is the school to prison pipeline.
All right. I'm gonna let you hold on, Truly. Let me let somebody else speak. How you doing, Black at what's up, mental health? Welcome to the live. Both of you guys, mental health, I'm good, beloved. Mental health, I'm gonna let you speak in a moment. Black, I just see ATT. Go ahead, baby.
This is Black Attack. I like
Go
to
ahead.
say, when I heard this story this morning, I didn't know it was true, but I believe it is true because they do like to hide this kind of information because they do not want black men as a collective to stand up for their children and their women. So I believe they definitely is hiding this story. I'm a 47-year-old man, and I definitely could understand if you took my son who's about to graduate in 2 weeks. I'm gonna be insane about that. So this was calculated, but then it was also a part of insanity that he waited till his daughter was going to prom, a very monumental moment, and did this to make, if this is true, to show some kind of to show some kind of retaliation. Like, you can't just keep killing young black men on a regular, even black women, and just get away with it. So at some point, we have to, as the men in the community, we have to stand up and let it go with all the negativity stuff. And our main focus should be provision and protection. And I don't mean just like buying, like, we need to buy up the neighborhood. We need to invest our money in stuff that's going to protect us and keep us thriving and growing for the next generations. So a story like this, it gives me hope that it's other black men like me that will protect their family, because this is crazy that we get killed and nobody even knows about it. And like you said about the story about the people behind the jail, I heard about that. It's in Mississippi, I believe. And my brother did 20 years in the feds. All this is designed to keep us from just to keep us held down. They're trying to extinct us. So at some point, we're going to have to defend ourselves at all costs.
Right. Okay. Give me a second, Black Attack. Mute up for me. Excuse me. Mental health. Good. Well, afternoon, beloved.
Queen. I'm 51, speaking from experience. I've been pew-pewed. I've been poked with the knife 8 times. The community didn't protect me. I had to protect myself. It wasn't the community. It wasn't my people, my race. It wasn't my family, the family that I started with first. They didn't protect me. They're the reason why this account is called mental health. And I get a mental health check. And I'm a generational curse breaker. I break chains. I break cycles. So I did this myself. I didn't get in this. I didn't ask to come in this world. I didn't ask for my dad to beat on me, because sometimes your family be the first to do the worst. And my family was the first to do the worst to me. That's just my story. I can't speak for everybody else. I'm only speaking for myself. I'm 51 years old. Disabled. I get that mental health check every month, and I get it from all of the topics and titles that's floating all on the net and off the net. I wasn't born physically or mentally disabled. I was born in good shape. My physical and mental disability didn't come to me until after life happened. I woke up at 4 this morning talking to my wife, who I've been married to for 16 years, telling her about this story. I'm tired of waking up, and I'm tired of telling her these stories and sending them to her DM like, babe, look at this. Babe, look at that. This brother right here, this is a corporation. This is a plantation. This will always be a corporation. This will always be a plantation. And once brothers and sisters start standing up the way this brother did, I'm down on us. That we're going to probably be thrown in the camps because this is a corporation. This is a plantation, and they still in control. See, we rule by numbers. They rule by weapons of mass destruction and stuff like that. So the day we stand up, and they find out we all standing up, and we standing up in this type of order. You see, because I'm from the trenches, I'm from the battlefield. I'm not the marcher. I'm not the protester. I'm not the singer that sing, "We shall overcome." I'm the one watching over your ass while you marching and protesting and singing, "We shall overcome." I don't march. That's why I got a pew pew in me. And my life is the way it is. And it's, that's another form of reparations. Mental health is slavery. Slavery is mental health. And it's a difference between us brothers who on the battlefield and in the trenches, and we glad our sisters and our kids don't have to be in the battlefield and the trenches the way we have. We've been in and out of the prisons. Some of us been going to their prisons on purpose. That's my story. My last trip, I went to prison on purpose. And when they asked me for my freedom, I didn't even want it. Because I knew when I got out, I wasn't going to be able to keep that freedom. Because it's easy to get, but it's hard to keep. So I told them I don't want it. So I'm just saying all of that to say this. All of the talk, because see, I'm really from the trenches. You can Google my name. My record speaks for itself. Ain't no brag, no boast in that, but I'm your Nat Turner type. I'm kind of your Malcolm type, but I really don't approve of Malcolm and Martin. I really approve of brothers like this right here. These the kind of brothers I rock with. I can't be around you if you ain't moving like this kind of a brother. You see, a lot of us talk about it, but when it come down to it, is we gonna really be about it? I got 3 kids that I have to protect, and a wife. So a lot of people talking about this life that a lot of us been living. We living it. We really out here. So when you Google Gary Armstrong, gang member, you'll see who you're talking to. And it's bigger than the gang stuff. So we broke that gang curse. We broke that chain. We broke that cycle. So what he did is real. So I could just imagine what type of father he was, the sacrifices he was making for his wife and kids. And this is a real story too. This is a true story too. This ain't no game. This ain't no game. So many sick stories. I just got 1 million views just yesterday. I'm just experimenting. And I'm watching from both of my accounts. My other one, 41,000 followers. I just deleted over 840 some videos and millions of views. See, this is not a game. I don't do this for the views and the likes and the comments. This is an experiment. And y'all are my confirmation. Y'all are my conclusion. Y'all are my sign. See, the higher power, the ancestors, the Most High told me to be watchful for nothing. My older brother called me up the other day. He said, "Little bro, ain't that something how the Most High told us to be watchful for nothing?" That's the topic we had. I said, "Yeah, big brother, ain't that something?" He said, "You don't got to wait for something to happen. The Most High and the ancestors said, be watchful for nothing." And I'm up in the middle of the night walking through the house, watching over my kids and my wife. I'm outside watching over my kids and my wife. I'm crazy about that. I give it all up for that. It's just a matter of time they're going to camp us up. So get ready, because this is not a game. There's something else that's about to come.
Baby, hold on. Let me interject for one moment, okay? To the people in the chat, it's given that y'all want to fight about everything, baby, and that's not what this is. Okay? Whether the story is true or not, and I've said this 18 million times now, is not the debate here. Okay? Believe it or not, this happens every day. There is a young black person unalived by police. Whether this story is real or not, it does not matter. Y'all fighting in my comments is crazy. We don't care about whether the story is true or not. It still needs to be talked about. Because at some point in time, this is gonna happen. History tells us this, okay? Now, I don't know how educated you guys are, and I'm not calling anybody uneducated, right? But the funny thing about history is it has a way of repeating itself. How long can you kick somebody before they get up and kick your ass?
That's right.
Is the topic here, okay? That's why
Facts.
my minds keep telling y'all to read the room. We don't care about whether it's true or not, beloved. I don't have to pick or choose anything, baby. This is my platform. Respectfully. I don't have to do anything. I'm going to do what I want to do over here. Respectfully. Okay?
Respect.
All that I'm saying to y'all is whether the story is true or not, stop spamming the chat with that, okay? Just stop. Because I'm telling you, my mods are going to get y'all. And I want y'all, I hope that y'all learned something here today. That's it. I've been seeing Caucasian people come in my chat like I'm a white person, and I completely agree with what he did. There are conversations that need to be had. Thank you. My apologies, mental health. Go ahead, baby.
Well said. Respect. Yeah, this is not a game. This is happening every day. I got a cousin who was found on side of the highway in a ditch with a hole in his mouth. He was pew-pewed because he was dating the sheriff's daughter. Unsolved mysteries came to the South to do the case until those people started threatening. So Unsolved Mysteries told the family, we can't do this case. We got to get out of here. Just because he was dating the sheriff's daughter. Sheriff gave him warnings he wouldn't stop, so they found my cousin on side of the highway in a ditch with a hole in his mouth. This ain't no game. They said I wasn't gonna live to be 16, 18, 21, 25. Made it to 51. Been pew-pew. Y'all be surprised, man. I done been four-pointed, been all in their prisons. All that. This is not a game. It's not a game, and the trolls are in the comments. Trolls gonna troll. They hate when we speak this truth and drop this knowledge, this wisdom, this understanding, this proper outstanding guidance, this common sense. Host, you better mute me because I'll keep doing this. Google Gary Armstrong gang member.
Yeah, I'm going to have to because I got to let
This is
somebody
what I
else
do,
speak.
host. Hey, host and respect. I do this on the
Respect,
net,
baby.
off the net. You Google Gary Armstrong gang member. You.
Yeah, we gotta let somebody else speak. What's up, Big Cookie? Oh wait, there was somebody here before you. Is it Aluno?
Yeah, sis.
How you doing, baby?
Living the dream. I watched this and I know we saying that, it don't really matter if it happened or not because it's happened before, right? Young me, we've done things to the over aggressive, police out here when they've overstepped their boundaries. In my opinion, if we're going to have these discussions, because actually reaching out and doing it is not that difficult. It's the mindset of preparation for after you do these things. Because because the actual act of doing something is not that difficult. You make a decision, you pick a place and time, and you do it. And then you go forward after that. But we also have to look at some of those self-circumstances that you will put yourself in after that. Like if you do that, that's fine. All right, cool, I get it. But we must be prepared that, hey, after this happened, it's going to be a lot of nonsense behind that. And can you really deal with those consequences? Not even just you, your family. Your family. Because everybody up here, we all gun-ho for the most part. We all move around like that. But you also have to take into account the toll. Now, I don't know whether the story is true or not. I tend to be cautious on what gets me riled up in the news, especially if it's AI generated, like the nonsense of the Dr. CB daughter and all of that, because that's very much what this was giving. But that's my only thing. Like, you got to take it in context as a whole. And on top of that, some of the things that us as our community was what we must stop doing to help us get get us in the right position.
Mhm. So
To
when
move
you say
forward.
what we must stop doing, what exactly are you referring to?
Well, some of these things are like, for me personally, right? I like to have a good time just like anybody else. But I understand that everybody, like, there's a lot of people nowadays who think their life is supposed to be a love and hip hop episode. It's
Right.
not, right? Like,
Mhm.
perfect example, everybody who has a platform, the majority that is doing well are not loud, right? The worst of us are represented in the majority that is on TV, in these books, and the music. Just because they're loud. That's it.
Mhm.
Right? I'm a father. I take care of my children. I go to work 6 days a week. I mind my business. Old me went to work 6 days a week doing other things. But I still took care of my responsibilities. This is what I'm out about.
Right.
Right? When you see those who are doing the most, and it is the most egregious things that you wouldn't want your family around, you wouldn't want your kids around, you wouldn't want your nieces and nephews, and it's the down talk of, oh, well, who are we to judge people? Hey, listen, low key, some people need judging. Some shit is just wrong. It just is. And we try to err on the side of caution to a degree because we don't want to hurt people's feelings. One, and two, it just seems like nobody wants to take responsibility or accountability for what they've done, and they use those words and don't mix in the action of not repeating it. Right? I don't give a damn how much accountability you tell me. If I'm out here doing dirt and I'm with somebody and I take accountability because I got caught. Oh, I got caught. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry I got caught. I didn't say I wasn't going to cheat again. Yeah, I'm out here shooting up the neighborhood and letting my kids think that it's cool to shoot up the neighborhood. Oh, I'm sorry that he shot up the neighborhood. That
Hold on,
don't mean
I'm
you're
gonna
not
whoa,
going to
whoa,
teach
whoa,
them
whoa,
the
whoa,
same
whoa, whoa,
lesson.
whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm gonna mute you just for a moment, baby. You gotta use the TikTok vernacular. I don't want you to get clipped, okay? You gotta say like pew pew, or you know what I'm saying? Pew pew the neighborhood or whatever. Cause they'll clip you. Go ahead, you can unmute. I don't want them to
I
clip
got
you.
you, my fault. But okay, so like I said before, the action of behind those words of accountability and that type stuff, right? We can take accountability and not and acknowledge that you're wrong all you want, or somebody's wrong all we want, but the action of it of not doing it again can help us grow so much, so much. We ain't necessarily got to go upside somebody's head. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm definitely not against it. Sure enough, not against it. But not everything is worth going upside somebody's head and glorifying the worst of us.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Everybody has growth. Definitely not leaving out room for growth because everybody needs it. Everybody's young. But we can point to those. Hey, listen, you being young ain't an excuse for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's not an excuse for everything. Right? Us ducking the responsibility. Like I know partners who didn't take care of their kids and they ducking their kids now that their kids are older. No, go ahead, fam. Go ahead, let them cuss you out, talk bad about you, talk crazy to your face. Because you deserve it, because you messed up. Then once that's out, they need to get that off their chest. Y'all can go and build and have something that is way better than what they had before. But they put action behind it.
Okay, so I mean I understand everything that you're saying, but let's stay on topic here, right? This story alleges that this man unalived this man's child because this man unalived this man's child. So what you're saying to me is that that's where it puts you, like that's where it puts your mindset when you hear this story.
When I hear this story, the
Mm-hmm.
fear that, not fear, but the caution I have of this story is that one, it is AI generated, right? Because AI generated things
I
are
need you.
either, I know it's not. Listen, just listen. I get you. Whether it's real or whether it's not, is not what you're saying is relevant. What I'm saying is that you still have to be cautious on things that we take in, whether they be real or fake.
I agree.
Because things that are real or fake could make you move in a way, i.e., that white woman said Emmett Till touched her.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So if she didn't actually open her mouth and say, he touched me when he didn't touch that lady, 9 times out of 10, he's still been alive. And they still would have been
Hold on, baby. Hold on. Because we are not fighting for somebody's I completely agree with what you're saying, right? But we're not fighting for like vindication or anything like that. I just genuinely want to know how my people feel when they hear things like this, or what we think when we hear things like this. You know what I'm saying? I completely understand that. Of course, you have to be careful of the things that you digest, right? I completely understand that. But I just want to know how y'all feel, because I'm not the only person that read this story. I see that's why half of the people in here, but I also see y'all in the chat saying the same thing, right? I want to know how does this make you feel? Whether this is AI generated or not is not the issue, right?
This is how it makes most, if I may be, me personally, and some of my partners that I know, okay, individually, totally understand it. Hey, absolutely, you gotta, planning, plotting, whatever, you gotta put time between things before you do things. I understand that, and I understand the anger that comes behind that, because we all, especially if you're in the same skin as where most of the people I assume are in this chat is in, we've all been wronged by some type of law enforcement or some type of official enforcement at some point in our lives, for the most part, or we've seen it where it's been so egregious that people get off for it, and it makes you mad and it makes you want to go there. And I'm totally for it. I just want to go there for the right one, for the real one, because I've seen it happen. We've done things to jump out boys who thought that they was, you with your family, you playing a game, you out here in the street doing your thing, you roust me, you do all this stuff, and I'm with the homies. Fine. It's Sunday. I'm with the kids. I ain't never, that side knows how you move for the most part. You with your kids, they roust you, they do all this old other stuff, disrespectful to your children. Then you turn around and all of a sudden, you see them coming out of their church. Or you walk in and you take what you and your friends.
Goddamn. Come up.
You take your what you come.
Come up, baby.
Oh, can you hear me, baby?
I can hear you. I see an opposing view, and I want to give them a chance to speak too. Come up and speak.
Oh, yeah. Come on up and speak, bro.
This is not we're not group thinking or anything like that over here. If you feel like the box is open, baby. Go ahead. I'm sorry, love.
Yeah, that's all I was saying. That's all I was saying. I just want to go there over the right one, over an actual thing, right? Whether it's real or not, for me, I want to go there over an actual thing. Plus on top, because you gotta be careful. That's all.
I don't, and I'm gonna tell you why I don't. I don't want it to have to come to this, right? I don't want to watch my people have to become this, right? Or have this happen to anybody's child and or father. You see what I'm saying? I would very much so prefer to speak on a fabricated issue or an AI story or whatever. That is exactly what I mean by it needs to be talked about. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's why I brought it to the forefront.
No, I got you.
Right?
I got you.
I would very much so prefer for us not to have to anybody in that matter, right? Well, for that matter, to have to experience this ever. But this story definitely sparked something in me. I ain't even gonna hold you.
Well, it harkens back to that movie that
Can I say something by chance?
Yeah,
you
I'm
know
gonna
what?
let
Let me
you
go
go.
on back, get up out of here. Let me go finish making my money. Hey, everybody have a great week. Please be
You too,
safe.
beloved. You too.
Yeah.
Thanks for dropping by. Go ahead, Miss Mazik. Is it Mazik?
Yeah, I'm not sure who is next. But yeah. Okay, I just want to clarify. So the black man unalived the white man's daughter because the white man unalived his daughter.
His son.
His
The white man allegedly unalived the black man's son, so the black man unalived the white man's daughter.
Okay, gotcha. And he's a police officer, so he did this in the line of duty.
Allegedly, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, that doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem fair.
It happens all the time, believe it or not. Not the revenge
Right.
unaliving, obviously, but I mean, I'm quite sure you've seen the news.
Of
It
course.
happens regularly.
Yes, our people get unalived often. However, does it make sense to unalive another innocent child? No. What would make more sense is to unalive the person who actually did the crime. I could give you points there, but I get that it would hurt more to unalive an innocent child, but I don't think that makes any sense. You know, you don't. Yeah, morally, I don't think that makes sense. It would just make more sense to punish the person who actually
Right.
did the crime.
Morally speaking, everybody doesn't have the same moral compass, right? And the pain don't hit the same, right? I've never lost a child by the grace of God. Okay, I've never lost a child, but I imagine that the pain would not be the same. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, no, you passing away versus you losing a child. Those are two different types of pains for sure. Um, but what would be I don't get what the difference would be. Like, you know, like how are you any different than him at that point? Then now
Is this a real story though?
we already
I wasn't here, sorry. Is this I'm seeing in the comments that it's fake news.
I think maybe you should put on the background that it's fake, so people when they walk in, because on TikTok in the FYP, it's coming up as a real story.
Because this is a real story. And what really happened was
Hold on, mental health. Hold on.
what?
Hold on.
Because I've been raising my hand.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm trying to get my mods to not like block and mute y'all and stuff like that because I completely understand wanting to know whether it's real or not. My question, no, let me in fact tell you that it may not be real. I wasn't there, so I don't know. Like in all honesty, it may not be real. My question, however, is, what does it matter whether it's real or fake? Because the conversation still needs to be held.
I mean,
This does happen,
that's right.
right?
And it's kind of crazy to think. I'm gonna leave in a second. It's just kind of crazy to think that a lot of people can't feel the pain if it's a real story. Like, and we don't know the details on that. It's kind of confusing because if it's a real story, we don't have all the details. We're really just going off the headline. The guy killed the cop's daughter in retaliation. So we don't even know what happened on the day of when the cop killed this guy's son and how it went down, if it was racially profiling. We don't have all the details. So I'm gonna leave because I don't have all the details. But I was about to go crazy on y'all. That's all I was gonna say.
You was gonna go crazy on us?
You said unalive. Yeah, he said he should have said unalive.
Wait a second, baby. Is somebody else waiting to speak? Hold on a second. Who else? Big Cookie, you came up after goddamn. Goddamn, I'm gonna let you speak, and then Big Cookie, I'm gonna get you, okay?
All right, hold on, child, because what we do to get go crazy on?
I don't know.
What we did?
I don't.
Not how we the bad guys. Yeah, I don't think that a fake, because I was looking for this, I saw this and I was like, that's odd. I guess if it is a fake story, I don't think it's necessary to create a fake story in order to have a conversation as this. because it puts Black people in a bad light. Like, I think whoever created this story is most likely somebody who is on the far right and is looking for the reactions of Black people to say, yeah, that's a good idea, guys. Like, look, and they'll use this because I've already seen comments in these stories where the comments are already being shown where people are like, see, this is what the case is, and yeah, they're going to do X, Y, and Z to like our children and vice versa, whatever. And so it continues that idea that as a Black community, we have no empathy for other people because to me, what the way I see it is this child, just like if this is a real story, just like the child that that it would have been unalived by the cop were two innocent people, two innocent children. Matter of fact, they're children. And so like saying that you're saying Black people saying this is an eye for an eye and being okay and justifying this type of behavior continues to position Black people in this space of being violent and not understanding morality. I don't think it's okay. I don't think it's okay to have a fake story like this when we have multiple stories um, where we can find something that is close to this type of. I don't think we have to make up extreme cases for us to be like, would it be justifiable if this happened? Because we already have extreme cases. There's so many things going on in this world that are disenfranchising Black people by the hands of white individuals or white supremacy, where we don't really need to come up with a fake story to come up with a fake story of eye for an eye. I just think it looks bad for us, and it looks bad for Black people to push this narrative. There's so many videos where people didn't even look it up to see if this is even a real story. I did one search and couldn't find anything, and I was like, this is probably fake. So the spreading of the fake news as if it's real is just shows that like people will believe anything and people will push anything, even if it's a fake story. And it's scary that AI is able to do that.
Well, beloved, I don't think that we are believing anything or pushing anything. I just felt like, and this is just me personally, that there was a conversation that needed to be held in regards to if this was to actually happen.
But
Right.
can I ask what conversation needs to be held? Because what benefit does this have? Like, I don't see a conversation or benefit to be had. And there, like, you may not be pushing this thing, but there's like 250 people in here, and I've looked it up on TikTok. There's about a dozen plus of videos where people are pushing it as fact.
Mm-hmm. I can't speak for those people. You got to ask them.
Okay.
No,
Again,
you mute back up. I can't answer. You would have to ask them, right? But as far as me, I felt that there was a conversation that needed to be held. Not trying to rage farm or mislead or anything like that. But this does happen regularly, right? And in the event that it was in fact a true story, that's going to cause a lot of rage farming, right? In this instance, right? At the very least, we can be like, okay, well, we're not sure if this is true or not. Nobody really, truly, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, knows whether this is true or not. So, with this being AI generated, we can discuss how we can prevent this from happening and or why this would potentially happen. You see what I'm saying? In my opinion. But you obviously have a platform. If you want to do that, by all means, I will come over, I will support, and I'll interact and be a part of the discussion once I'm done here. But this is just how I feel, right? Definitely been seeing this for a long time. I've been seeing people, and I have children myself, be unalived by police officers all the time, right? I'm not every single person on the planet. So I can't expect people to react and or feel the way that I feel in specific. But I wanted to talk to the people, right? Yourself included, just to figure out exactly where everybody's mind is. Because don't think for a moment that this entire situation has not crossed people's mind. It has. My mind in specific. Okay? Now, I'm not trying to paint black people in a bad light, and I'm sorry that you feel that way. I personally don't feel like that. But I do want to talk about it. Okay? Hold on this. I got 2 people in the requests. Go ahead, Auntie. I saw you, baby. You want to respond to her, right? All right. We got to keep it short because I did Big Cookie. I said I was going to get to him next.
Okay, go to Big Cookie. I'm you know what? I'm gonna yield my time for once because I'm just gonna say this. The problem is we're not talking about division here because here's the problem. They're unaliving our children at alarming rates. At alarming rates. That's a fact. That can't be disputed. So the fact that we're having this conversation, for those of y'all who don't like the conversation, y'all can easily, it's an X button. Y'all can leave. Like, this is a conversation that she wants to have on her page. If you don't like the way that this conversation is going, it's real simple. Just leave. But when it comes down to me and mine, I said what I said. It's eye for an eye. And I'm not going to sit there and back down on that because that's the problem. We've been sitting back. Oh, we're going to just march. Oh, we're just going to do that. And it has done nothing. And our children are still being unalived day in and day out. And whether this story with these names are can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, whether this specific story is actual or factual, I can guarantee you this same scenario has happened in America recently without the second part of the scenario. So let's not just go, okay, this is causing division. But I was told to ask you, goddamn, how are you talking about division when you have the paper brown test on your page that doesn't cause division? I was just asked to ask you that. That wasn't from me, though.
What's the paper? You talking about the brown paper bag test?
Yeah, that's what she got
my
on her
thing
page.
says it's reverse paper brown test because I'm dark skinned and people are colorist. So it says in there.
Oh, so but that's okay for you to have division, right?
It's called sarcasm.
Oh, okay.
That's not even
all right,
equivalent.
just ask the question.
That's not even equivalent.
Okay, I'm confused. And I definitely promote sarcasm. I'm not sure if you've seen the shirt, but it says fresh sarcasm served daily. I'm good at it, very much so. But I'm not being sarcastic at all in this conversation. This is definitely a serious conversation, and it needs to be held. Okay. I appreciate your views and opinions. I'm gonna drop you goddamn because it's crazy that that's your name. That's funny. I'm gonna drop you goddamn. I got somebody down here. Okay, thanks for coming, honey. Big Cookie. Thank you for being patient with me.
Hey, it's cool. It's all right. Hey, I just want to say this. This conversation is a dangerous conversation. The last dude that was talking like, you got to do consequences and all that stuff. I almost agree with him to a point. Listen, I love my people more than I love anybody else. What this man did, I could see me doing. But I listened to some of the people and I'm reading some of the comments, everybody talking about eye for eye, and I'm even with that. But we not prepared. I listen to Mental Health talk, and he talked like he's a foot soldier, and he's ready to go to war, and that's fine. But you got to have strategy to go to war. They can deal with most of us without even pew-pewing nothing. We on dialysis. They can deal with us just with medicine. They can just cut our medicine line out, and they can take most of us out of here without never even firing nothing. So when we talking about, hey,
excuse me, Big Cookie. Excuse me. Pardon me, Matthew. Can you please mute because you're making an echo?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Hold on one.
So when we talk about, hey, we prepared to do this, yeah, we can all everybody's. I'm pretty sure everybody's got a right to carry or something like that. We can all go out here, but when that run out, they can deal with us with just cutting off the water. Like we got to think more out the box than, oh, we take one of theirs, they take one of ours, because they can deal with us on plenty of levels, and they did it, and we didn't. Everybody keep talking about how history repeats itself. Yeah, but we need to learn from it. We need to learn from what they did with when they put smallpox in the covers and gave them to Indians. We need to learn how they work. Because if not, we just gonna be another repeat, and our kids is gonna be looking at us like, what happened? Y'all didn't learn nothing from this? Y'all didn't see them do it 1,000 times?
When you come up, I need y'all to mute, okay? When you come up. I'm sorry, go ahead, baby.
It's 1,000. I passed 1,000 dialysis clinics. They putting them up everywhere in our neighborhoods. We not prepared for it. If they just shut that down, just that'll take most of the people out right there. If they cut off your diabetes medicine, that'll cut most of us out right there. How long can you live without taking your medicine?
Hold on a second, Big Cookie. I have a question for you. Do you not see it being a problem that we even have to think that way?
No, I agree. No, I'm saying,
you see what I'm saying?
It's a problem that we got to think that way. But we got to think that way. You know what I'm saying? Because nothing's going to come with us. Nothing. Listen, when people say violence don't solve nothing, violence solves everything. They won this world over violence. They didn't come peacefully, and violence solves everything. But once the violence starts, how we going to protect the people that can't protect themselves?
Right. Matthew, if you have something to chime in to say in regards to what he's saying, feel free. I'm quite sure there are going to be debates here, right? I don't have a problem with that. I just don't want like the arguing. The debates are fine, but the arguing and over talking each other, we won't get anywhere, is it? But yeah, if you got something to add to what he's saying, by all means.
I agree with him 100%. Absolutely. But isn't that not, and I won't say but, because that zeroes out everything I said. I want his words to hold weight, and I'm just backing them. TikTok is a platform for us to learn how to take ourselves out of the dialysis centers. I looked on TikTok, and I was 18 years old over 22 years ago, and I told my brother, I said, leave dialysis, just leave. Just get off of it. Don't go. Don't show up. And he said, no, the doctors told me I had to go. And I went and got my degree in biology, and I studied it. I studied that because I had lost my brother at that point. I had lost him, so I didn't want to lose another person. You can't keep telling me that God said that we're going to die. And as amazing as each individual is on this earth, so that was out of the window. So now we don't kill one another. We don't hurt one another. No, I don't agree with somebody going and just retaliating. What we got to do is come up with the solution right then. I don't need time to think about it because we've been here over millions of years. We've been here hundreds of years. Someone should have learned this by now. So I'm coming. My solution is to take TikTok for what it's for. Pull ourselves, like he said, out of these situations where we don't need insulin. I had a cousin that passed away from diabetes, and my God told me, he said, she's got to stop the things that she's eating, not the medication, because we can live without that medication. We just got to change our diet. So that's how we pull ourselves out of what they're doing to us, like their retaliation. But yeah, fight back. But now fight back with this wisdom that TikTok is giving us while we still have time. When they say one black person has been hurt, everybody's got to be outraged. There can't be a person saying, oh, I got my money over here, because your money, you cannot carry that to a grave. You can't carry your stuff to a grave, but what you can carry is the way that you treated people. So we got to learn how to treat one another today, not tomorrow. Don't take what I'm saying and say, I'll think about it. Do it right now. When it mentions a black person and you're black, you are affected. You're affected right then. So let's do something about it now. Let's start making those changes so that we can, like he said, be prepared.
Matthew, I'm going to say,
and everybody, thank you so much for letting me come on. I apologize for not thanking you all first. But that's what I want to say.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna get off because I know you got a room full of people. With what you saying, Matthew, it comes with being obedient. Yeah, you can get off of dialysis and you can get off of insulin if you obedient and you listening to what.
How did we get here?
But I'm just saying we
want to go back to what she was saying. It's a conversation that's got to be had. So let's dive into the main thing first, and then go down that road to where we won't have to fight people off.
No. I'm not saying we're not gonna have to fight. I agree with what this man did. I would probably do the same thing. I got 2 girls and 2 boys. I agree with what he did. I'm saying the aftermath because I'm listening to the room and everybody's saying the eye for eye. An eye for eye mean we gonna go to war. We not prepared.
So the getting prepared is that's the first step.
I'm sorry, but war happens every day, and it happens against people that are unprepared. The Haitians were unprepared when the French attacked, but the Haitians wore the French ass out.
And now you see what's happening in Haiti, right?
Hey, can I say something
It's
real
not
quick? Then go.
realistic. It's not real. No, I'm not saying let's go to war. Please don't think that that's what I'm saying. But it's like this idea that everyone is unprepared. That's a false idea.
But you
Everyone
do understand.
is not unprepared. And I don't know how many people on dialysis gonna be on the front line. Did I miss something?
Do you understand that Haiti is the poorest country in the world for a reason? You understand what they did?
No, they just don't have money.
They don't understand why.
Hold on.
Y'all
Because
understand why
America
they don't got
put
money?
sanctions on them to pay the French whose ass they whooped, and they're constantly being exploited for their natural resources. Oh yeah, I understand it, but why is it happening? For the same reason what y'all saying right now, because they're not fighting. And because they are divided. They have been divided by the Western ideas. Are y'all serious right now?
You're 100% right. I love it. Put it out there. That message has to be displayed, because they think that because they have money, they're over somebody. That money can do nothing for you. You got to make it. You got to make it work. You can't just sit in an account and do nothing. You got to make it work. So you are the prize. We got to realize that we people are the prize. Us black people are the prize. As talented as God has made us.
For the person in the comments saying Haiti is the poorest country, why, sweetie? Why? Why do they think Africa is so poor, but yet the Congo right now is being exploited for cobalt, which funds these cars, these electric cars, these phones we're on. Okay. You do not exploit. You do not steal from. You do not try to overthrow and overtake countries that are poor. Please stop.
Haiti, y'all need to take y'all emotions out of this, because they cut out the trades for Haiti when Haiti won the war. It's consequences for stuff that you do, and if you're not prepared for the consequences, you're gonna lose the war in the long run.
But the fact that they divided them first, they divided them. See, the thing that I think this conversation is about, and this is Kay's panel. She could correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's more about how we should unite.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what I think. So in the thought pattern of what I think she brought this damn thing out about is uniting, so that they don't divide us to where we fighting one another for our own resources, them making us think we have a lack of.
Yep.
That's why Haiti is suffering the way they're suffering. That's why Africa is suffering the way they're suffering. They have conditioned our minds to believe the lies. And what we as a people have to do is
don't have anything if you don't have money. That's what they teach us.
And unite. Not be scared to have the uncomfortable conversations that might unite us. Do you understand what happened in Rosewood? What happened in Philadelphia? What happened in New York? All those things, if we were united as a people, it couldn't have happened. And as long as we keep running from the conversation, we'll never be able to get out of it. We need to have these conversations, my brother.
You talking about Philadelphia, you talking about move?
Talking about move.
And
I'm talking about Rosewood. I'm talking about the black Wall Street in North Carolina. I mean, in everywhere, even in North Carolina, Wilmington, North Carolina city was burned down. We come together in small groups. We get together. We become financially stable, financially independent, and they find a way to push us back down. And we didn't have the ability back then to speak to one another, to help unite one another like we do now. Philadelphia was left to fight for themselves. Wilmington was left to fight for themselves. New York was left to fight for themselves. We don't have to do that now. We can unite, have these conversations, which is why I thought she brought this whole situation about.
Me too.
Nobody said nothing about dividing. But move happened in 1985.
Don't say nobody said nothing about dividing. That goddamn came up here and said some harmful, hateful things about black people. As if we don't have to paint a picture.
Hold on, Mo. I saw her. She commented first, right? And she said it's dangerous to black people. It paints black people in a bad lighting, right? Let's be honest. See, that's the problem here, right? Oftentimes black people are painted in a bad lighting, right? And rightfully so, because some of us do some fucked up shit, right? These are just the facts, okay? But if at any point in time, right, I can hold a conversation with my people to shed light on how we can help correct or help one another as a whole, I'm gonna do that. That's how I am, right? I'm not here to preach to nobody, and I value each and every one of y'all's opinions. We don't do the group thinking and all this other shit or whatever. I'm quite sure there are a lot of us here that are gonna disagree, i.e. the exchange that just happened, right? However, it still needs to be said to one another. Amen. It needs to be said. Okay? Go ahead, Mo.
Absolutely. When she said how the light that we're painted in, they've already painted that light. We don't even have to do anything. I don't care if you're in a 3-piece suit getting out of a Maserati. You still black. They still look at you as being black. We don't have to paint a light. We don't have to paint a narrative. It's already been painted. The richest to the poorest. Which president was that? Was it Lyndon B. Johnson that said, if you make one of them presidents said, if you make the poorest white man feel like he's better than the richest black man, you can pick his pocket and he won't even know it. They've already done that.
Done that. Yep.
It's done already. So now, how do we get from under the rock we're under? That's what I thought that's what we were talking.
You're doing your business. You're doing your
So
business.
Miss Mo, if I can ask a question, if you saying how can we get, so you brought up all these situations. You brought up Move in Philadelphia. You brought up Rosewood. You brought up Oklahoma.
Black Wall Street.
You brought up all this stuff.
Mhm.
All this stuff we know the history. We know where it started from. We know how it ended. And yet and still, we all sitting on this panel trying to figure out how it won't happen again.
Oh no, I'm just
not trying to figure out. We just
I'm
bring it to
just
the
lending to
forefront.
the conversation. I'm very active.
Yeah.
I'm very active.
I
Check
can
my stats. Google me.
I don't gotta
active.
Google you because you're saying stuff that I know about.
I'm very active.
And people that don't do
I'm
research.
just here to lend because a lot of people, one of the biggest problems with us as a people are we lazy as fuck. That's one of the biggest problems with us as a people. We don't do our research. We don't do our history. We talk about it. We don't be about it. And we wait for the next person to do it for us. That's one of the bad things about us as a people, largely, because I can't speak for everybody. But that's one of the bad things about us. And so when we have these conversations, hopefully people will go look up the things that we're talking about. I don't have any.
But I'm gonna say this, Miss Mo, and I'm only saying Mo because I only get you half your name. Rosewood happened way back. You know what I'm saying?
It's still relevant.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's still relevant. I'm not saying that. Move happened in 1985. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We talking about what, 30, 40 years between the two, somewhere in between there, I believe. We still making the same mistakes that they was making. And
I say that time and time again.
That's why this conversation needs to be held.
Yes, I agree. That's what I'm saying. If we ain't learning nothing from it, then we need to learn from it. We need to understand what's going on. Everybody on this panel, I'm pretty sure, got a piece of something that can throw in there to say, hey, this is gonna make a good pie at the end. You missing this? Did you know about this? Like, people need to have these conversations, fake or not fake. I don't care. If you take mine out, I'm gonna try to take yours out. That's real. That's
not
the
me.
thing I could ever say.
I think like this. We can't look for the masses, right? Remember the 300. We can't look for the masses, right? You find your tribe. You give your instructions in your tribe, and your tribe make it do what it do. If we're looking for the masses to have the same mindset as we have, we're going to be in that position where, you know how you get to the front line and a whole lot of motherfuckers turn back?
Yep.
That's the position that we'll end up being in. And it's this conversation, in my opinion, is to stop things like that from happening. It's to, I don't want to take no dead weight with me.
Yeah.
You feel me? I don't want to take no dead weight with me. How do you separate the tare and the wheat? shit like this right here,
Mm-hmm.
conversations like this right here. How do you know who can, who can't, and who will and who won't? Conversations like this right here.
Hey, I gotta go, host. I appreciate you
Text
having
me
me.
your
Mo, the conversation was beautiful.
speaker.
I
Text me
love
your
all black
information
people, so I gotta go though. But
just
thanks
so I
for
can
having me.
have it.
Thanks for stopping by, beloved. I appreciate you.
I agree with what the host, Ashe and Grand Rising, everybody on the panel. If I may speak just for a second.
Hold on, wait. I got one person ahead of you, baby. Okay, and then I'm
Okay.
gonna let you get to it. Dane, go ahead, beloved. What did you have to add? You've been waiting patiently, and I appreciate you. Dane James.
They said, they said that a coward man keeps sound born. That's what they say. If I see people in the comments saying that the story is fake, but if it was true or not, if somebody, I got 2 boys, and I always say this when I see the news, that if that ever come to my doorstep, I will be hunted. I don't care about no court system. I don't care about nothing. I don't care about no war. I don't care about none of that. If you take my child, I'm taking something of yours. And that's coming from my Jamaican ass. I'm taking something. And then you're going to feel the same pain I'm feeling. That's all I got to say about that.
All right, I appreciate you, baby. I'm gonna drop you down for a second, okay? I appreciate you, baby. Okay, receipt. Is it receipt goddess?
Yes.
Go ahead, baby.
I totally agree with what you were saying, over and over again. If we don't have these conversations, we are,
Everybody mute up. Go ahead, receipt. Not you.
okay. If we don't have these conversations, and speak about history, we're bound to repeat it, in my opinion. You see, for me, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the topic for now. So, the topic was a white tea man unalived this man's son, and this man unalived the daughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, my whole thing is this: when it comes to what belongs to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe in temporary insanity. I do. I lost a daughter.
I'm glad to hear that, baby.
Oh, I appreciate that. Not in a way that someone. Well, I'm not going to get into that. But what I would say is this: my only object. This is just my opinion. My only object in my life is to avenge my children. I myself wouldn't know what I would be thinking or feeling in the moment of mourning. But since it did happen at the hands of the man who unalived my child, my focus would not be to call Al Sharpton. I wouldn't be trying to have no peace rallies. I do stand 100% behind my belief in eye for an eye.
Mm-hmm.
Would I go and unalive an innocent child? 9 times out of 10? No, I wouldn't. But things like this do happen, right? So I feel like this, regardless of, because I've been hearing, I wouldn't call it fear mongering, but regardless of whatever the situation may be, no one could ever be prepared to bury a child. I wasn't prepared to bury my child. So what I would honestly say is I couldn't see myself allowing that and then going through these court systems knowing that we barely get any justice. Speaking about Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor, I don't see myself calling up and peace marching and stuff like that. I just don't see it. Whether this story is true or not, there was two, specifically for this story, is 2 innocent children that were unalived. So I can only speak about how I may be at that time, where my mind may be. No one is prepared to even handle that. So I don't disagree. I feel like if you take something from me and what you took from me did not belong to you, what you took from me did not owe you any debt. If you commit MUR, y'all know the rest of the letters, against something that belonged to me, and if I KILLU, I feel like it's justified. That's just my opinion. Far too many times we see us being unalived, unarmed at an alarming rate, and we don't get the justice that we deserve. So I'm just gonna leave it at that, just for now, unless, I don't know. But I appreciate you so much for allowing me to be on your panel too, as
No
well.
problem. No
And
problem.
everybody on the panel, peace and love.
You're welcome back here anytime.
Hmm.
Again, we do not, well, I'm not gonna say we do not. We are not promoting violence in any shape, form, or fashion, and or especially against minors. That's not what's happening here. I just legitimately wanted to hold a conversation and talk to my people, just to touch bases with y'all and see how y'all doing in a way, because this, I really want to prevent it, and I'm only one person, right? But I want to prevent this, right? So whether this story is true or not does not matter. But I cannot tell you without a shadow of a doubt that this will not happen, right? I'm a mother of 4 children. I have 2 sons and 2 daughters. And I've said on this app and off this app plenty of times, if something happens to one of my children, I'm in a violent form anyway, I won't be any good to my other 3 children. I'm going to prison. If I even make it there. Is that okay? Absolutely not. But that's the mindset that we have, some of us anyway, have been put in, right? Because this situation in specific is happening at an alarming rate. At an alarming rate. It's like the norm. Jesus, don't speak yet. Just hold your mute for one moment, okay? It's happening at an alarming rate, and I would very much so like to hold a conversation before we get to that point. I don't want to see this happen, right? At all. Okay? All right. Now, Jesus, go ahead and speak.
All right, just a quick heads up in case nobody does know. That's Leonard McRoy. That picture was taken in 2020. He was arrested for molesting his 7-year-old niece. The story is not true, you guys are talking about. It's already been proven. This is kind of weird that everybody's saying he's a hero and don't even know his real charge is child molestation.
All right, I'm going to get you out of here. That's not the point at all whatsoever. I need you to read the room.
I was gonna say this was for entertainment and
Did
educational.
you not just okay? Pardon me. Did you tell Jesus to hold his mule?
I did tell him to hold his mule. Sarcasm, fresh, served daily. That's what I do. Yeah, it is. But I don't have a problem with even Caucasian people coming up to speak on it. This is not a closed conversation, right? Because believe it or not, eventually this will affect you all too. In the event that this story actually takes place, you will be in the event that this begins to happen, you'll be affected too. So I won't like count y'all out at all. If you want to come up, by all means. By all means. You're not gonna be attacked. That's not what, as you can see, that's not what we're doing. Okay. Who just got up here? Who did I just let up? Brown
Christian hasn't spoken yet.
Christian, you were up here first. Go ahead, beloved.
Good afternoon, y'all.
Let me mute myself because I'm eating ice.
So K-Dub, I apologize, okay? Because I know that there's something that you don't want to, or you wouldn't want me to do, so I'm apologize now. Because if it were to ever happen, um, my brain cells don't function the same way as everybody else's. Yeah, my daughter, if that were to take place, but I would not um, take it out on. Well, yes, I would. I would definitely take it out on that person, but that person, I would actually do some crazy stuff, like I don't know, make them unalive their own child. Like it would be something like that.
Some
At the
law
hands
abiding.
of me. What's that?
I had to interrupt you. I was just gonna say some law abiding citizen type.
Exactly. Law abiding citizen ain't got shit on me, because I'm not going to prison at all. You will be looking for me. Um, Now, someone said that I don't like when people, put out that I'm not from Haiti, but I did do humanitarian work down there when I was in the military. Haiti is not the poorest country in the freaking world. So, uh, the gentleman that said that, um, and just so you know, I'm not just speaking that out the top of my ass. Uh, Chad is actually the poorest country in the world, and then there are like I don't know 15 other ones that are poorer than Haiti. So Haiti is not the poorest country in the world. Let's stop saying that because we have Haitian brothers and sisters that come on here and speak with us every day. Um, but yeah, okay, I would definitely take out when I don't know if anybody remembers 9/11, but when that happened, guess what? We went over as the military, and it's basically an eye for an eye. Whether this story is true, this one particularly is true or not, that's um that's not important. The important part is it's just like when you watch Law and Order SVU, right? These stories have been changed, the names and faces have been changed to protect the innocent, blah blah blah. This is the same thing because it actually has happened on multiple occasions that a story just like this. The only thing is the names have changed. So um, I will say that it happens all the time. Um, and we as a people, we have been, spotlights have been put on us in a negative light, and it's been like that for I don't know 2,000 years. So we already have the richest black woman in the United States. All of them, all across the world. Matter of fact, they all have something negative over their head. Oprah, golly, the lady that just made the cure, came up with a cure for cancer. They done tarnished this lady name so much. So it doesn't matter what we do, we're gonna have a target or some painted picture on our head. Um, so that's basically all I wanted to say.
To the people who have an issue with that eye for an eye uh narrative or view, um you being hypocritical, and I can prove it. Because I know at one point in time or another in your life, your mama or your grandma or your father, you done went to them like such and such hit me, and they told you hit him back.
So let's talk about
Mute,
that eye
mute,
for
mute,
an eye.
mute, 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 Christian. Let me finish this. Okay. So before y'all start with the, oh no, this is messed up, and I feel like no, it's kind of hypocritical, baby. And I know it's not completely different. It's not completely different at all. It's still violence. Somebody was still hit. Somebody was still hurt. It's not completely different at all. It's not. If your child is jumped by, let's say, 3 other children, now you finna go get the cousins and all this other stuff. Now you finna go jump. That's exactly how it. Listen, all that I'm saying is you don't have to lie to me, right? Now I'm not saying that you got to bring it to the forefront and out yourself, but I know I've been there. In fact, I've been there maybe a little bit further than you. See, about 5 years ago, and I know it was 5 years ago because my son was 12, right? He was 12 at the time. He's 17 now. Now, for those of y'all who don't know who Mook is, he's my eldest child, and he tall as shit. Okay, he's always tested in the 99th percentile, and I'm not gonna die. I'm gonna keep it short because I'm getting frustrated, right? My brother had come into town, wanted to take my nephew to get some cleats or something for baseball or football or whatever it was gonna run him down to the mall about 30 minutes away in Toledo. Okay, on the way there, they were pulled over, yanked out of the car. Okay, stretched. My son was 12. They did not have consent. They had no reason to search the vehicle. It was literally like my brother was speeding or whatever, right? He was yanked out of the car. He was stretched. He was searched. We are talking about a 12-year-old little boy. My brother told them repetitively, like, y'all, that's a minor. He's only 12. He was 5'10" and a half at the time, maybe 5'11". Okay? Of course, I handled it after the fact, right? But it happened to my child. It could have went a completely different way, and it can happen to yours too. Baby, I'm trying to help me, help you, help me, help us. That's it, that's all. Stop being hypocrites, because you're lying. You ain't got to lie to me. I don't pay your bills. Okay? Thank you. Go ahead, y'all.
I was gonna speak on that eye for an eye thing. Like, you know, people say that, oh no, this shouldn't be eye for an eye. Do you know that if it wasn't for that eye for an eye thing, a lot of the stuff that you have now, you wouldn't have it. You probably wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for eye for an eye. And I say that because I mean, let's just look at history. The Civil War. Let's just stop right there. We won't even go past that. We'll just stop. For people have the rights you have today. That was the start of it. And then let's talk about all the other wars and stuff. You wouldn't have that. Now, 9/11, they came over here and tore up New York. Guess what we did? Took our ass over there and tore up every fucking thing. When they had what's that, World War I, they went down there and tore up damn Hawaii. Guess what we did? Went and tore up the whole damn country. So if you did not have that eye for an eye, you wouldn't have the rights that you got right now. I'm just saying.
Y'all, we live in a country, right? Everybody that's in here, we live in a country that goes to war with other countries over their oil, right? Over their resources. But we're not even good to have a conversation. I need y'all to take a step back and stop commenting out of emotion, okay? All right. Go ahead, Christian.
Man, if I was to comment out of emotion, ooh, Lord. All the stuff I done seen over there, man. Perfect example. And it is people that say that they wouldn't take out a child. I'm gonna tell you right now. I can tell you that I got 17 bodies in 21 years. And all of them were not over the age of 21. Because they, over there, anywhere, will put that thing in their child's hands because they think that we won't do nothing. They think that I'm gonna fall for that. No, I'm not. I might ask questions later. I might not, which I'm probably 9 times out of 10 I'm not. I'm going home. So I know for a fact that ain't nobody up here or nobody in here that will say, "Oh, yeah, he took my child's life, so I ain't gonna be mad. I ain't gonna do nothing." Even if you were just to put him in jail, you still did something. That's still an eye for an eye. You didn't take the life, but you put him in jail. So they ain't got no more life after that. They got 20 years behind that bar, and you gonna pay. I'm not paying for nobody to have 3 meals a day. I refuse. I'll take that ass out, and then I will feed you to a pig.
Okay, stop it. Crystal, mute up for me, please. Thank you. The truth hurts. Let me mute you. Brown pen and two step. I think y'all came up about the same time. So we're gonna go brown pen, 2-step, and then Miss White, and then the name, and then truth hurts. Okay.
How y'all doing?
I'm good. How are you, honey?
Man, I'm doing pretty good, man. I saw this earlier and I thought it was I was like, is this real?
Right.
Somebody finally stepping up for themselves? So I think that I think this need to just go on, like, to really get to, because it's almost like we've been having megaphones screaming in these people's ears and they won't listen to us. We've been trying to scream in their ears for forever. And they just won't listen. And sometimes it make me feel like they don't care to listen. Now we could sit up and say that, like, oh, these people, they here to serve and protect us, right? And we have even brothers that be on the force that won't serve and protect us either. And I'm starting to wonder if it's like that we are all alone. So you know what you have to do when you're all alone? You have to buckle down and defend yourself by any means necessary. And sometimes it ain't no rule in war, and you have to do what you have to do. So for me, I'm like that brother that was just speaking. Man, I'm gonna go all out about mine, in a wild way. So man, I just want to say, man, that we just need to do better with each other and start protecting each other in a very fierce, strong way, and use whatever tool that we need to get that point across. To just leave us alone and stop bullying us. That's all I have to say. I land my
There are other ways to do that, though. There are.
So what other
And
ways?
we're
We
gonna
done
get off.
tried every.
We're gonna
Hey,
get off.
sister, we
Hold
done
on.
tried every way. We done tried every way except for the way that the Haitian did.
I agree.
The Haitian is the only one. He gave the perfect example on how to teach people to leave us alone. And we done tried getting on our knees. We done tried the Bible. We done tried everything. We done to fix your food. We done let you know we love you. How much we ain't got nothing else but that. We done tried everything but that. I say go the route the Haitians did. So other than that, we just gonna keep going through what we're going through.
Touche, brother. Who was next? I don't remember. I think it was 2-step. It was. Y'all came up about the same time. Go ahead, baby.
No, I just wanted to. I'm just listening. You know, I was walking through the theater and saw the movie was on and saw that it was a pretty good topic. Um, just listening what the other brothers were saying. Military veteran also, and he completely kind of laid it down what I was going to say a little bit, but it is it with technology that we have in today, you know, able to see things more and more. We're continuing to see the ignorance and the irresponsibilities of these officers, since this is a you know allegedly a issue with an officer unaliving a son. Um, the we're starting to see more and more, and then in the back of our minds, or some people, they're like, well, we're going to always be on the forefront of trying to rectify a situation, you know, because this happens time and time again. The whitey man or woman will get a slap on the wrist, get pushed underneath the rug, and still be able to go home to their loved ones. And then for our community, it's not such the outcome like their outcome, right? So the the how do we move forward? You know, we always, like he said, we've tried everything under the sun, you know, to try to get there. We infiltrating, we're putting our community within the system, and you know, the only thing that we start to hear is, well, there's some good apples, there's some bad apples, and there's the good apples, you know. But it's like, oh, but those apples still grow from the same tree. So you know, their livelihood to feed their family is on the line also. So what you think they gonna do when push come to shove? They're not gonna, you know, they're gonna eat. Their family is gonna still eat. But the eye for an eye, you know, it goes back. You know, he stopped at the Civil War. Look, it goes further back than that. You know, we're going to continue going back and forth. You know, we got yin and yang, good and evil, and we just need to try to find a way, as we have before, to come together to just say enough is enough. Enough is enough. And either you're going to put, like, you know, if your family member goes and become part of the system, okay, family member, I just want you to know, if you're going to subject yourself to that quality of life and want to put yourself in there because you feel like you want to make a difference, then you need to stand on 10 with that. You need to stand to your ground and know where you come from. Don't let them infiltrate you and let them, you know, talk good and say, hey, we'll give you a little incentives on the side if you're able to, you know, you got to have your numbers look like this and that. No, don't feed into that, because that's what they want you to do. You know, they did it to the indigenous people. Hey, come over here, let me show you something. They're used to being what's the word? They're used to bribing. They're really good at bribing, and they don't have a problem with gore. You know, they love to see this. They love to see war and this dismantling. You know, and until we have enough, nothing is going to really continue to change. Elaine.
I appreciate you, baby. And I agree with some of your viewpoints. The name, I can't see the last part. Go ahead and unmute for me, baby. What'd you have to add?
Hi guys. I just wanted to thank you for letting me on the panel. I just wanted to gear the subject back to where we were already talking about earlier. I see in the comments, I know it's new people coming in all the time, but we do know the story is fake. This is just a springboard, because in our reality, this can be a real story. So what can we do about it? When we were talking about getting our communities together, I feel as if we should all, each one teach one. It starts at home with our children. It starts where, you know, we formulate a plan. The Black Panther still exists to this day. It's a lot of other things that we can do to uplift our community. Rather than inviting everybody in, we need to fix what's in our house first, right? It's crazy how a lot of people are like, oh, this story is fake, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake. But it's really easy for this story not to be fake. And I understand what you're trying to do is stop it from becoming a real story. At least try to do your part in trying to get us to understand, hey, this could possibly be a real story.
Yeah, it could be a reality for somebody.
Right. It could be a reality for somebody someday, because again, we are taking out in alarming rates, other than most races, for the simplest things, just living life. So the conversation does need to be about, what are we going to do? How are we going to do this? Whether it be violently, which I'm not opposed to it, if it came to that. But at the same time, even if we did do it violently, what was the next steps? And I know it was another guy up here that was speaking in that forum, like, what happens then? I feel like each one of us that feels like something needs to be done, we should not just talk about it, but be about it too. There's a lot of ways we can do that in our community, going to community outreaches and getting your neighbors together, talking about things, actually getting out there and voting for things that affect us. So this is a good conversation to have, and I just really want more young people to come into the conversation too, because the ones that don't have the people around them to teach them better, they're doing things that may cause them to be in a situation like this. So a lot of
well, I got a lot of I got a lot of young followers, but I think majority of my followers are millennials, or maybe a little older. And I'm just trying to, each one teach one, reach one, teach one. Like that's all. That's because I got a platform and I can obviously reach people with it. So I'm trying, but again, I'm only one person. And that's why I said this conversation needs to be had. See, there are 203 people in here right now that we are holding this conversation with, right? But if each one of these people go and have a similar conversation, they can reach more people who can reach more people who can reach more people. But it gotta start somewhere. It's not about this story in specific. It does play a major part, but it's not about this story in specific, right? We have children, and times are not the way that they used to be way back when, okay? So somewhere along the lines, we got lost. Everybody was like, well, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna go this way, and I'm gonna do this. Instead of being like, well, if I can help you, it ain't gonna cost me, ain't gonna hurt me nothing. I can do that for you, no problem, right? But for whatever reason now it's kind of like, oh no, that's on you. Ain't got shit to do with me. But I feel like there's a level of fear there, and a fear of what I do not know exactly, but there's a level of fear there, right? We've all gotten into this mindset of we want to see each other do good, but not better than me. And I hate that for us. You know what I'm saying? But to each his own. I don't know. Garnett, go ahead, baby. You was next.
Okay, yeah. In regards to the each one teach one, I was just kind of wondering, like, what exactly would you teach? Because personally, I've read several books dealing with world law and history, and in most cases, I've found that police officers, even though this isn't a true story, in most cases they act outside of the constitutional fold of government, meaning they're not supposed to do the things that they're doing. And laws like qualified immunity is basically justification. So it doesn't matter if they're violating any of your human rights or any established laws. They're just doing this a lot of times because they claim they're afraid, but a lot of times it's just because, excuse me, a lot of times it's because they have arms and they can do it, and there's no consequence for killing. I know they don't kill specifically Black people, but you see that most often. And they
Do me a
kill us
favor,
without
Garnett.
any
Say
recourse.
unalive, baby. I don't want you to get clipped,
Oh,
okay?
okay. I apologize.
No,
Well, they
it ain't
unalive
me.
us.
If they're not gonna get me, I don't want them to get you.
Oh, okay.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So in a lot of cases, there's not even a consequence for unaliving us. And if we want to move forward, then we have to look at the things that are already established and try to hold them to that, because there's literally case law stating that they can't, like, it's lawful, like you have the right to resist an unlawful arrest, and you can come to the aid of another. I'm not sure if a lot of people remember when Tupac supposedly shot those two officers, but that was one of the case laws used, that his lawyers used to actually get him acquitted. So it's important that we take a look at law, get a better understanding of it, and just try to find a remedy within that while working towards taking care of ourselves within the community.
Right. I agree wholeheartedly. When I said each one teach one, I meant exactly what you just said. And then some, actually. There are some of us who have degrees, right? A lot of us actually who have these
Right.
degrees and we went to school for law or for medicine or for, you know what I'm saying, things like that or whatever. Now, I'm not saying give out your services for free, but
Right.
it'll probably be more beneficial in the long run if you did, right? Because you don't want to deplete anybody of their, you know, anything actually,
Right.
especially if
Because
it's
it's public
cost you,
information.
right? It's very, I agree, you know. So if you could give somebody that knowledge, then by all means give it to them. Well, look, this is how you
Absolutely.
handle that. This is how we can fix it, or this is how this, that, and the third. I do it all the time over here on my platform, right? I
Yeah,
just
I
put
know.
up the video so that somebody can save it and try to, you know, break down the steps themselves. But it usually happens over here all the time,
Right.
right? But that's exactly what I mean by each one teach one. If you have the information, right? If you have the resources, give them to your people, right?
Absolutely.
It doesn't, now I get that you have a job to do. By all means, do your job. Nobody is trying to stop your bag, right? But if it's gonna do more help than harm, give it to them.
Indeed.
Give it to
You
them.
know, I'm definitely all for that. A lot of times, though, you know, what I encounter personally, because you know I'm an engineer by profession, so you know a lot of places I can't go and talk to people. You know, there's a stigma within the workforce that you know you just don't do certain things. It's basically an amalgamation type situation where you just got to fit in, you know, get along, go along type scenario. But you know, if we could speak to our people, you know, and give them this information and kind of remove the ego and
That's
basically
that
just the
mentality of I
emotion.
want to see you doing good, but not better than me.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
we can
yeah.
get
And
rid
see,
of
that's
that,
why I
we will
touched
be,
on that.
child. Oh, I want
Yeah,
to hear that so bad.
you know, you gotta get rid of the ego, man. Like it's the information is out here. If you're capable of buying any books, man, I would recommend just start with a basic law dictionary, Black's Law Dictionary. Anything between the first and the fourth volume, a lot of that is cool, even though they started to change a lot of things once the fourth volume came into print. If you can get between a first edition and a third edition law dictionary, just read it, just look at it and see like common stuff that we, you know, everyday words that we use in legalese. It is a completely different meaning. So I mean we could just start there, you know, and just kind of move forward into like your case law, like dealing with court decisions and so on and so forth.
I have a question.
Go ahead, sugar.
The topic is on the guy. Was the story real?
From what I understand, it wasn't. I don't know.
Okay, Kay, could you do me
Because
a
I've been waiting for half an
Kay?
hour.
Kay, can you do me a favor? Can you know that banner that you put your Cash App on? Can you put that banner up there and just type in there big ass fake story in there and just put
I
it right
got
there?
you.
That way we don't have to deal with this shit. It's
Okay.
kind of crazy.
I'm
I
sorry.
wanted to interject.
I
I've been waiting
I
for
was
half an hour.
We
scrolling. I
get
saw
it.
the background. So
We get it, sugar.
Now, why would y'all do that? I'm having fun blocking the hell out of all these people. Damn.
Nah, they just getting in here, a lot of them. So we haven't.
Can I
They
speak,
don't
baby
know.
mama?
Go ahead, sugar.
Okay, so for y'all coming in here, because this is ridiculous, y'all coming in here about these fake stories. Okay, so this story in particular is not real, but stories like this are. If you Google, and I guarantee my bottom dollar, if you Google any state with this type of story, you'll find it. So it is very much real. The
Yeah, something.
situations are real. Our children are being snatched from this earth prematurely by the other side just on principle. What was that?
Yeah,
What was it, Alabama, when all of us went and just like went ham on the
yeah.
lice police?
In
Okay,
Montgomery.
that's the type of stuff that needs to happen. You know why? Because they're not going to stop until we do. They're so used to us being complacent and taking what is given to us because we don't want no smoke. We want to mind our damn business. Okay, so they see that as a sign of weakness. Oh, you want to mind your business? That means you're weak. Let me come mess with you.
Yeah,
Until stuff like that start happening, which we don't want. We don't like violence. We want to mind our damn business.
yeah. It's been
Okay,
that way
so
since
it's
the Spanish
until
Inquisition.
right
Wait,
until
wait, wait.
things.
She got to speak for herself. I like violence. I'm
Shut
in
up,
tune with
Christian, so I
violence.
drop you. I'm not playing. Stop.
No, no, we're not doing that. What I'm saying is, we know violence beget violence. We already know that. Now, first of all, if we're walking down the street, minding our business, and somebody decides, oh, I'm going to wake up and mess with one of them, just because they can do it, just because it's been done. See, I'm starting to hate that word history. Oh, back in the day, what happened? It's still happening.
Exactly.
Slavery is still apparent. It's called prison. Okay? They're still treating us like we're not human. They act like they're superior. We were here
According to that
first.
law,
Let's
that's what
go
they say.
there. We were
That's
here
exactly
first.
what it says.
And the Bible says the tables will turn. Read your Bible. The tables will turn. What's done to us will be done to them. And we know vengeance is mine, save the Lord. We know that. There are other ways to skin a cat. That's what my nana used to say. Other ways to skin a cat. You can hit them in the pockets, which is the only language they seem to understand. We can band together and support our own. Build up Black Wall Street again. We had that. They didn't like that we had our own. We was minding our damn business. Black Wall Street was about minding your business, supporting your own, and taking away from them that almighty dollar. They didn't like that. So they decided, oh, let's go bomb them. Let's go burn this down. Why? This is the point. Kay is bringing up solutions. Hey, what can we do? What steps can we take? Because we've had enough. We have had enough. We love our children just like they love their children. So why is theirs better than ours? Why step on our toes when we're not even in your way? You're going out of your way. That's why you have these damn Karens. They're going out of their way. They wake up on the wrong side of their bed just because. And then when we retaliate, rightfully so, they want to cry wolf. And then we get penalized. We get penalized for defending ourselves, which we have the right to do. We have the right to bear arms. We have the right to defend ourselves and our children. So if we can't defend ourselves and our children, what the hell are we here for? If we're going to stand there and let them walk all over us, what are we here for? We need to protect each other. We need to protect ourselves. We need to protect our children. You best believe I got a pum-pum. I sleeps with mine. Walk up in here if you want to.
Yeah, I got a few myself.
I'm going to protect my children. I'm going to protect myself and my family. And if somebody out on the street that can't protect themselves, I'm going to protect them too. That's called being a human. They don't see us as human. That's the problem. So we need to band together and protect ourselves and protect our children. Stories like this are very much real. This particular story is not, but stories like this are very much real. In any state, name them. You'll get dozens that come up. And they don't even be broadcasted until years later. What's up with that? Especially when it comes to our people being unalived by the other side. They want to hide stuff until somebody has a guilty conscience and say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and leak this news. I'm going to go ahead and leak this footage. It's about time justice be happening for this person. But the person been going 2-3 years. This is the shit that's happening. It's not history. It's present. There's nothing history about the shit.
It's history and present. Hold on. Carolyn Bryan just passed away recently. It ain't been that long, y'all. And she waited until she was on her deathbed.
Yeah, to tell the truth about
that boy didn't whistle at her.
That's terrible. That shit like that.
Hold on. I need for y'all to understand, although y'all, because I keep seeing a lot of comments like, oh yeah, y'all do anything for clicks and views. Baby, respectfully, I'm quite sure I got more followers than you. It's not clicks and views, right? I never be like, y'all follow me. Y'all click. Y'all, I'm not one time have I said, y'all tap the screen. Not one time have I said, gift me and or my panel. Not one time have I said, hit my Cash App. Not one time. That's not what this is. Baby, this conversation, because I'm quite sure that you are younger than I am, this conversation, believe it or not, is to protect you. Okay? To try to make a better world for you. Okay? See, we've been dealing with this a lot longer than you have, i.e., I'm older than you are. right? That's it. I think that y'all really want to see baddies on here, right? Y'all, and that's not what this is. Sometimes it's okay for Black people to have conversations to figure out better ways to help more Black people. Amen. That's all that we doing, right? And even opposing opinions have been on this panel. So I need y'all to nod. I'm not opposed to talking to somebody who doesn't agree with what I'm saying.
So, K-Dub, I got a question for you. Do you, before I had figured out on your live that it was fake news, I was gonna agree with, I feel like we need to start doing, even though this is a fake story, we need to start retaliating in that way. Do you agree with that?
I don't necessarily agree with that. Not necessarily. However, I can't say that I wouldn't. That I know that sounds crazy. I don't necessarily agree with that. If this was to happen, I'm not gonna say I wouldn't put no money on his books, or I wouldn't be trying to raise the money to get him a good ass lawyer or anything like that to get him the minimal sentence possible, right? However, I don't necessarily agree with violence against children in any sort. In any sort. But then an eye for an eye is definitely a thing. And again, I said it at the beginning and I say it now. In the event that and I have 4 children, okay? 2 sons, 2 daughters. In the event that one of my children become a stain on the fucking street, I'm not gonna be no good to my other 3 kids. I know exactly how it sounds. Okay? Before y'all try to eat me up in the comments, I'm aware. But I said what the fuck I said.
But with us having that type of empathy and remorse, at a point we need to get to the point. I feel like we need to get to the point to where we don't care either. It's gonna take a couple of sacrifices.
It is.
Or whatever, but I mean, it is what it is. They don't care about ours.
Mm-mm.
And I don't wish no bad on no kid, but at the same time, they don't care about ours, so why should we keep on caring about theirs? Why should we have empathy when it comes to them when they have no empathy at all?
Yeah, that's like an unspoken rule, right? Why the hell should I give? If it's fuck me, you gotta know it's fuck you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right? That's how it goes. It's an unspoken, baby. You gotta allow your background. It's like you got a fan or something going, so I'm gonna mute you, baby. But that's just how it goes, right? It's like an unspoken rule. If it's fuck me, you gotta know it's fuck you, right? But we only apply that to the small things in life. It's on a very small scale. Once we get that on a larger scale, or we see it like as the grand scheme of things, then we're gonna be talking. Right.
Absolutely.
But as of right now, we just holding a conversation. Right. We're trying to come up with ways and viewpoints on how we can put this shit in motion. Right.
Do y'all believe that we
Rome was
should?
not built in a day.
Do y'all believe that we should be segregated?
Ooh, that's gonna have to be a sub live only.
Oh yeah.
Okay, a sub only live. That's gonna have to be a sub only live.
Yeah, that would be a
conversation. But if we hold that conversation right now, I give you my word, I'm gonna get clipped.
Okay.
I can.
That's understandable.
I can promise you. Okay. So
question.
I know this sounds crazy, and I'm not trying to like monetize off of that in specific. But if you want to sub, go ahead and hit the sub because I want to say by the end of this week we're gonna hold that conversation.
Okay.
That conversation, but that's gonna have to be some sub only shit because we not gonna. If we hold that conversation right now, it's gonna last every bit of 5 minutes.
Okay.
And I know I will be clipped immediately.
Well, I do believe that we need to stop being so empathetic. As Black people, we can't help but to care, and we always opening our arms. And we need to stop that. We need to stop and stop being so empathetic and view these people how they view us.
See, that's a part of our nature, though. We're not just naturally hateful people.
Okay, we gonna have to get there.
Yeah, we gotta.
What we've been doing, but it ain't working. Which my people told me that our ancestors how they make it seem like they didn't fight back. My grandpa told me they didn't just roll over. like
Yeah,
this,
they weren't pushovers. Nah.
I'm gonna tell you this, right? Because I've been holding this conversation for years. A few years back, I said, "Black people, come on over here. Let me talk to you for a minute." I said, and the video went viral. You can Google. You can type my name in, and I'm quite sure to come up. I got on a blue collared shirt. Okay, I said,
Yeah.
"Did you know that there are entire towns for sale?" Right, and then
Yeah, there's a couple of them in Georgia.
yeah, it's towns everywhere in every state. I'm talking about entire towns for sale, right? And then I went on to say, how I would go about running said town, making sure that, the people who live there were like comfortable. Money would not necessarily be an issue. I had
Yeah, you work the
mapped
barter
out this
system.
whole thing or whatever, right?
Cousin, I actually think that was around this time last year that you did that video.
No, because it was on my my first KW though page, the one that got taken down. It was on that page. So it was around this time, but it was about 2, maybe 3 years ago. So I'm like, okay, yeah, well, I do definitely think that we can do this, but I need a couple people that's actually willing to hold that conversation with an open mind for real, right? This is not the first time we're gonna have that conversation, Stamp. You hear me?
Yeah.
We're gonna have that conversation. So subscribe, baby, because I promise you it's coming.
Can I say something real quick, Mama?
Go ahead, Lulu.
Oh, that was me, Mo.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mom. My bad.
Listen, I don't do this often. And it was like pulling teeth to get me to ever say this. For those of y'all that don't know, I am the niece of the late Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad.
Oh,
We
wow.
do not share the exact same ideology, but trust me, I learned some things from that man. I learned some things from that man. That's why I said a lot of the stuff I do in real life, I get on these panels to lend a hand if I can, to lend experience if I can, to inspire if I can, to educate if I can. This is not often. I do real life work. And that's what we all have to do. There's someone that's spamming the comments. We got to clean up our own communities. We got to stop the gangs. Yes, this is true. But you know what we also have to address? Why do the kids feel the need to join the gangs? See, that's called the root.
And another thing, just let me piggyback for a second, Mo. I don't think that often, like, when y'all get to talking about gangs, y'all don't really realize why they were created. Now, ultimately, I agree, they did end up turning into something else. But do you understand the reasoning for why these gangs were created?
I absolutely do. I
Community protection against the police.
I absolutely do.
Okay, go ahead, Mo.
What is y'all opinion on?
Hold on, Stem. Mo, go
Okay.
ahead, and then Michael, I'm gonna let you speak too. So mute up for me for a second, beloved.
I absolutely understand what you just said. I'm actually working on a book. It's like from the innocence of childhood to cripping, to banging for Christ, to being awakened. I've had all those experiences myself. Like, I had an innocent childhood with a parent who worked in aviation. So I had a very nice childhood, but some things happened, right? And I ended up gangbanging. And then I went from gangbanging to being a preacher. And then I went from preaching to being awakened by who I am. And I'm still learning. I am still learning. I'm very much so still learning. But I never did any of those things. I never made any of those decisions without either research before or research during, which made me matriculate into other things. I learned more as a Christian about why Christianity was not good for me as a Black person than I did when I just sat outside the fence and watched, right? I learned more because you have to study. And when you start studying, study beyond the books. We have to learn to study beyond the books.
Beyond the books, travel.
We have to learn to study beyond the books. If we don't study beyond the books, we will never get the full story, and we will never get the full true story. That's what we have to do. A lot of this that we're doing right here, this opens up dialogue, true, but it also gives people ideas of what to do in their own communities, how to help in their own communities, how to have more intimate conversations where you can say the things that you can't say here on these tickety-tock streets. You know what I'm saying? How you can make the real plans that you can't make
No,
here on these
first of all,
tickety-tock streets.
you can say what you want on TikTok. You see, but people want to fall in line. You see, it's a big difference. You
No,
know, and then
saying it
about
on
this
these
man
TikTok
right
streets
here.
makes you
You
put
know,
on
this
lists.
Hold
man,
on, wait, whoa, whoa,
this
whoa. I don't know who else is talking besides Mo because nobody's box is lighting up. Who is that speaking? Is it Michael?
Michael.
Michael, wait your turn or you gonna get dropped, baby.
I'm sorry, baby.
You
Thank
can
you.
say it, but here's the thing: we have to be careful because when you get put on them lists, your ability to move about gets hindered. When your ability to move about gets hindered, if you don't have anyone picking up the torch behind you to spread that word, then the word gets stagnated. When the word gets stagnated, people don't know what to do. That's the things that we have to stop. I said this earlier when I was up here. A lot of the reasons why they were able to burn communities and stuff like that of Black people because we were isolated. And so there was no word getting out beyond where we were. Now we have the ability to get word out beyond where we are. Now, you must first take care of home. You absolutely have to take care of home first. I agree with that. You do. If you are not effective in your own home, in your own community, how effective can you be somewhere else? I agree with that. Yes, they were afraid, but they also had no help beyond where they were. So that's me. And for those of us that keep equating the unaliving of Trayvon Martin and the unaliving of Ahmaud Arbery with police brutality, please understand the people that took their lives were not police officers. And one of them had the nerves to sign Skittles and yet had the ability to still walk around. But we say we ready? I think not.
I agree with her 100%.
I agree. Go ahead, Michael. What you have to add to the conversation, honey?
all I want to say is, first of all, I would like to say thank you for having me, guys. And second of all, I love all y'all, and it's sad, man, because you know, an officer took this man's child away, but then he went back and then took the officer's child away. It's stupid, really.
Michael.
It's stupid.
Michael, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, what's up? Talk
Can
to
you
me.
see this banner right here?
You said what?
Do you see the banner right here?
Yeah, this guy, his son got killed from the officer,
Okay, all right.
right? His son got killed from the officer.
I'm gonna get you up out of here. I'm sorry.
I was about to say, sis, I'm gone. I can't.
I'm
I'm
not.
sorry. I can't.
I'm not. I'm not gonna do it. But what I will say is this, right? I'm gonna hold on, I got another person. I am gonna hold a live about the segregation concept. I am gonna hold a live about a couple more things, but I'm gonna do it on sub only because I don't want to get clipped, right? I don't want to get clipped at all. I do value y'all time and opinion, but I also got things to do. I'm about to be moving here soon, so I'm gonna end this live. You guys are more than welcome to, if you want me to move out of the way so you can screenshot it, by all means go ahead, and talk about these things yourselves, but they need to be talked about, right? Bring same up.
Mama, what page would I sub on? Because you have, I think, like 4 pages. So I don't know which one.
I only have 2, but this is my main page, so only sub to this one. I do not promote people subbing to my my backup page because I'm hardly ever on it. I'm only on it when I get clipped over here.
All right, I'm gonna sub now. Hold on.
Okay.
Hey,
So
can I say something right
go
quick in
ahead,
his
baby. Of
defense?
course.
Hey, let me say something right quick in his defense. When I looked at your screen, I actually couldn't really see that said fake news at the top. So you need to move that ribbon down a little bit because your name and like in whatever that says, that's over the top of that. So you need to drag it down a little bit.
Wait a minute. What's over the? It's
Kay, what happens is different phones, the banner is on different places.
what?
So like Androids and stuff, the banner is gonna be different. It's gonna look different. Like, yeah. So we see it as iPhone users where it needs to be, but Android users don't.
Wrong.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Hang on. Let me address this right quick. because people already in the comments coming for me, and all I'm asking her just to do is just move the ribbon down a little bit. On your phones, it might be different. All I'm saying is if you're really not keying in on every single thing on the screen, her name and whatever numbers that is, that's covering the fake news part. So I'm just asking you drag that down a little bit so that they can see it clearly.
Well, on my phone, it only gives me a certain window to drag it down. So I dragged it down. It's literally covering up half of me. I'm quite sure you can see that, but I didn't know that. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't know that on certain phones it's in a different spot. That's weird, TikTok.
No. No. I mean, like that's what. No, I mean it wasn't taking sides. Like I can just understand why that guy that you just dropped. I can
Right.
understand why he probably didn't see that. That's
Right.
all.
Okay.
But okay, I'm gonna drop out the
I
box before they come
appreciate
after
you.
me
Well,
too.
Michael, I apologize if you didn't see this banner here. I didn't know
All right.
that. Goodness gracious. Thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I didn't know that. Yeah, it was across his chin at first, but now I got it covering up half of me. So, I am gonna, Michael, be nice, you guys. I am gonna end this. You are more than welcome to, and if I see it again, I will come and talk to y'all about it. But be sure to put up fake news in your with a sticker because they gonna spam your chat. Okay. Thank me later. Thank me later.